Hello, Shelly.
How are you, Matthew?
Oh, Shelly, good to talk to you. Sorry about the technical problems we were having. Chuck, we will call you back later.
Okay. Well, the Hawks are on, don't.
Sorry. The Hawks are on, don't. Okay. All right.
I'm kidding.
No one cares anymore, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shelly Liebowitz calling in. He is a legendary producer in the music business. Shelly, we really thank you for coming on, and I have some questions for you.
All right, you're making me sound old now. You're making me feel old. Legendary sounds so old, you know?
Yeah, but legendaries, not too many people get that word. Like, you got to earn that word. You got to earn it, and I think you have.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I always find these to be interesting stories because the music business, much like in the entertainment business, period, there's no like application really to sign up and get in and whatever. So I'm really interested in how you got involved in the music business because there's always funny stories like they're like accidents or whatever.
Well, that's true. Excuse me.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say one thing. There is an application for being in the entertainment industry. It's called insanity. This is not for normal people.
Here.
That's the truth.
But I got started in the music business. I was a teenager. I had family in the business, and a cousin of mine brought me in the studio to record demos for other artists, and that's how I got started.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of odd.
And you just kind of worked your way up from there, or like who was the first artist you produced for?
Jeez, you go back then. I probably want to go back.
Who's the first member?
Did stuff with Belmonts, did stuff with a lot of different acts through the years, you know, and then there's all different kinds of artists, and some you work with that you regret, and there's some that are the great thrills.
Ooh, Katie Rose, such ad. She's all about the gossip.
Oh, come on.
She wants to hear all the the Belmonts. Shelly, I'll have you know, me and my friends still sing Dion and the Belmonts, though, outside the bar on Saturday nights.
You know, we're with the Belmonts after the split, so it's a whole different issue.
So, who have you produced, Shelly? Give us a little list. Who are some of the artists you have produced?
Go with Sammy Davis Jr., Ella Fitzgerald, on the rock and roll side, an assortment of different people. There's just so many, you know. There's so many. Let me clear up one other thing. There are a lot of artists that I work with that I didn't produce. They work as management.
Okay.
And it was interesting. This afternoon, people were asking me about when we do the concert in Bangladesh. You know, there's so many different things, and when you're in the business, if you just stick with doing one thing and one thing alone, there's a tendency to get stale and repeat yourself. When you can get involved in lots of different things, especially if you lend your talents to charity events, that's always positive. Also, you know, end up meeting other people you end up working with as well.
Yeah. You know,
so it's fun, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking about like
the strangest person they ever produced.
Yeah.
Was Tiny Tim.
Really? I didn't know that about you, Tiny Tim, huh?
Well, I got to tell you, Herb was a great music historian. You know, we used to play this game with him. We'd name a song, and he would tell you who wrote it, what label it was recorded on, who was the first artist to record the song. It was amazing.
Wow.
We could never stump him.
Now, what is your favorite? You don't have to pick your favorite, but give us a couple of your favorite songs that you work closely with the artist on.
Oh, Jesus, that's a tough one. It's a really tough one. Favorite songs. You really like throwing curves, don't you? You don't play fair.
Well, you know,
but it gets to be difficult. Okay, here we go. Let's see. One of my favorite songs on Birth of the Blues with Sammy Davis Jr. Working with Mike Panera, Ride Captain Ride. Jesus, difficult question. There's so many different things with different people. Even with Ella Fitzgerald and doing How High the Moon. There's just an abundance. It's really hard to pick favorite tunes. You know, when you've been in the music business a long time, trying to say a favorite song you've worked on is like, you know, all right, you've done a couple hundred albums through the years. What's a favorite song?
Right.
You know, certain people are a lot more fun to work with.
Yeah.
Like Sammy Davis Jr. was really fun with Sammy, because when I started working with Sammy, I was 19. And he said to me, we have to go to Vegas. I said, cool. I'd never been to Vegas. So I didn't know he was going out there for a Rat Pack show.
And he snuck you into all the places, and, you know, yeah.
Well, back then,
we land in Vegas. We go directly to the Sands Hotel. We'd leave our bags at the front desk. We'd go to the showroom, and Sinatra's on. And we stand up against the back wall so nobody could see us. And Sammy started to heckle Frank. And I'm just thinking, I've heard all these stories. We're going to be murdered, you know.
Shelly.
Sinatra yells out, there's a shadow speaking from the shadows. He says, get your ass up there on stage. But later that night, Sammy says, you better go up to the hotel room. We got a lot of work to do in the morning. And I said, okay. And I went up to the hotel room. I opened up the door, and there was 6 naked showgirls in the room.
Hello.
I was 19, you know. So I figured, I'm in the wrong room. You know, the girl grabs me, drags me in the room, and hands me an envelope. And I open up the envelope, and there's a note from Sam. It says, welcome to Vegas. Have fun.
Oh, my God. Shelly, I'm 27. I've yet to see 6 naked girls. 19, you saw 6 at one time.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Yeah, good one, obviously. You know, it was funny you brought up the heckling. This wasn't a question I had until now. Have you ever met Don Rickles?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Warfield.
Is he the best?
Oh, he is amazing. What a quick wit.
Still speak to Don?
Excuse me?
Do you still speak to Don because you guys have all that past to talk about and all the good stories?
I haven't seen him in a few years.
Oh, he's great. We just saw him live a while ago, and he was fantastic.
He's still kicking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of those guys who'll sit up in a coffin and insult a mortician. You know, he's one of those people.
I love it. You know what? Today was actually this day in history. Sinatra and Friends premiered on, I believe, ABC, and he had on Natalie Cole and John Denver. And it got me thinking about, what are your memories, because you did a very famous special, Shelly, the Frank Dean Judy special. What was your role with that? What did you have?
Well, I didn't produce the original special. The original special was produced by Norman Jewison.
Wow.
What I did is I found it in Sid Luft's vault, and it had been laying there since 1962. And it was black and white, and the sound was awful. And I convinced Sid to let me run with it. So we colorized it, and I digitally remastered the sound. And then I went to PBS, and I said, I have to get this on the air.
Well, you were the genius to put it on the air. Because, I mean, that's...
Well, it needed to be done. It needed to be, brought out of the darkness, so to speak, because it was too important.
Did you ever...
There's one great scene in that will never be repeated, and that's Frank and Dean is sitting in a bar with hats on, smoking cigarettes, and actually drinking bourbon. And he was singing songs.
Love it.
That's great. Did you ever meet Judy Garland?
Yes, I did.
Did you know this story? I just heard this story today, and I don't know if you know this is true or not, but she had a variety show on CBS. And what she had
Sid produced it.
Right. From her dressing room. Now, tell me if this is a true story. I heard it today. It may be, someone told me rumor, so we'll see. But there was a yellow brick road that went from her dressing room to the stage. And what happened was the cleaning crew didn't know what the hell it was. So they
cleaned it up.
They cleaned it up.
Oh, no.
Is that a true story?
That is true.
Shelly Liebowitz just brought the goods. We got that rumor cleared up.
All right.
That's
one of the side goals of this show, by the way. So
now, Shelly, you're probably wondering how I even knew that. Because I'm like, it came out of nowhere today. My buddy, I'm mentoring right now with someone that used to be an executive at CBS, and he said to me, you're having on Shelly, ask him about Judy Garland and ask him if that's a true story, because he always wanted to know. We're big TV historian guys. So that's great they cleared that up. That's a funny story.
There were a lot of interesting stories from the TV show.
Is there anything you could share? Because I got to imagine now, how much was Judy like Liza?
It's how much is Liza like Judy?
Right.
You know? Judy. The thing with Judy is that being a child star. I know Mickey Rooney, and Mickey always says the same things. You know, it's a really fucked up life. You know, and because you don't have a life with adults, your life with children, your life is with adults. And when Judy was fired by the studio, it freaked her out. She thought her career was over. You know, they thought she was done with movies, so they just canned her. And Sid Love said, "Screw this crap." You know, and he reopened the Palace in New York and put her in there. And then their whole music career was started off. Liza is very much her mother's daughter.